Good day, viewers. This video is strictly for revision purpose. All right, we are going to discuss the examination format of JSS3 BECE 2023, which is popularly known as Junior NECO, that is ongoing. All right, Wednesday 24th May is slated for mathematics, so we are going to discuss the examination format on mathematics. All right, so if you're coming across this video and you know you need it, your child will need it, or you know someone that will need it, please make the video available. You can share to as many learners as you can. And please, you're watching us for the first time, you're meeting us for the first time on YouTube, please support us by subscribing to our channel. Just type on the subscribe button just below this video. Okay, it's this subscription that keeps us growing, and when we grow, we have the strength to serve you better. Thank you. Now, this examination cuts across numeration, algebra, geometry, and statistics. Okay, under numeration, learners must recall the knowledge on operation with fractions. Operation with fractions involves addition, subtraction of fractions, multiplication, and also division, and also application of BODMAS. All right, BODMAS gives the order of operation Okay, so learners must recall this knowledge. Also, learners must recall ratio and proportion, especially ratio when it comes to sharing a particular item in a given ratio amongst a group of people. Okay, ratio, proportion, direct proportion, inverse proportion or indirect proportion. Learners should also recall this knowledge. Okay, we also have percentages. Learners must also recall the knowledge of percentage. Okay, how to express a particular item in percent. Recall that to find the percent of any item, you first of all get the fraction of that item. See, for example, in the class you have boys and girls, you have to find the percentage of boys in the class. Okay, you must first of all get the fraction of the boys. Okay, it could be a class setting, it could be a chart, maybe a pie chart. All right, in the chart where you're dealing with degrees, so you get the fraction of the item. Okay, then multiply it by 100%. That will give you the percent. All right, decimal numbers, the percentages of decimal numbers, just move the point twice forward to give you the percent. All right, please, you must recall this knowledge. Also, estimation has to do with rounding off numbers. Okay, significant figures, decimal places, nearest tens, nearest whole number, those are under estimation. So learners must recall this knowledge. And also, we have commercial arithmetic. Here we talk about discounts, we talk about simple interest. All right, learners should recall this topic also. Okay, and also we have LCM and HCF of numbers. Please, the scope is not limited to this. Okay, I'm just coming up with this because I know at least one or five more of this, more than one or two of these will reflect in the exam. So please record this knowledge. Next, we move to the next area, which is what? Algebra. Now, for algebra, learners must record the knowledge of LCM and HCF of algebraic terms. Please take note, whether for whole numbers or algebraic terms, when you're using tabular method to get the LCM or HCF, for LCM you are dealing with just factors. All right, because I'm making reference to tabular method because it seems to be the easiest way for learners. All right, and for HCF you are dealing with what? Common factors. All right, hence using tabular method for LCM you are required to end up with what? 1 1. But for HCF it may not be the case. Please take note of that. All right, next, factorization. Learners must also what? Recall this knowledge, right, of 2 terms, of 3 terms, particularly quadratic expression. Let's take, for instance, I have ab square minus a square b. How do you factorize this? First of all, you get the common factors, the highest common factors of the 2 terms. A is common here, a is common here, you factor it out. B is common, you factor it out. When you factor out ab from here, what do you have left? You have just b left. Minus, factor out ab, you have a left. This is factorization, okay, of 2 terms. Of 3 terms also, take note, when you have, say for instance, a quadratic expression, all right, you split the middle term. Okay, let me give an instance. Take for instance x squared minus 4x plus 3. All right, first of all, you multiply the first term and the last term. This will give you what? 3x squared. All right, plus 3x squared. Then you split the middle term into two terms such that when you multiply, the product will give you this and the sum will give you this. What are those two numbers? Minus x and minus 3x. Minus x minus 3x will give you what? Plus 3x, right? Then when you add minus x minus 3x minus 4x, hence use x squared minus 4x plus 3 will now be written as what? X squared. In place of this middle term, you write this now, minus x minus 3x minus x minus 3x, then plus 3. Make it 4 terms, which you can now factorize in pairs, all right, to give you a final answer. So please, you must recall this knowledge. Next, you have expansion of brackets. This is also very important. Learners must also recall how to expand brackets. Say you are given a bracket a plus b, a minus b. How do you expand this? This multiply this multiply this. Also this multiply this, and this multiply this. 2, 3, 4 to have 4 terms. All right, this is how you expand the bracket. Then you simplify further. Please, you must also record that knowledge. Next, learners must recall simple equation. How to resolve a simple equation. All right, a simple equation involving fraction, algebraic fraction also is part of it. Word problem also part of this. All right, please, you must recall this knowledge. Next, learners should please recall linear inequality. Linear inequality has to do with what? Where you an expression where you use less than, greater than, or less than equals to, greater than equals to. This is linear inequality. All right, the same way we resolve simple equation, the same method applies to linear inequality. Just that in the case of linear inequality, whenever you're dividing both sides by a negative number, the sign will change to the opposite. All right. Next and lastly, here we have linear graphs. Linear graphs, learners should please recall how to read coordinates on a Cartesian plane. All right, how to read your coordinates. All right, and how to read graphs. When you can do that, I think algebra will not be an issue for you. Please take note, like I said, it is not limited to what we have on the board. All right, it could go beyond this. Next, we move to what? Geometry. Now for geometry, which are referred to as the simplest branch of mathematics. First, learners must recall areas and volumes of shapes. In our next video, we're going to discuss common errors learners make in mathematics when solving problems in mathematics. And in the next video, we're going to give out the various formulas for finding areas and volumes of different shapes. All right, so please just follow us. If you want to be notified as soon as this video drops, you can also click on the notification button. When we drop the video, you get notified. Please don't forget to subscribe. Next, we have areas. Next, we have bearing. Learners must recall the knowledge of bearing. Know how to read bearing. All right. You have a position. Let's say A, and that position. Let's say B. When you're asked bearing of A from B, you take the reading from B, and you start from the north pole of B. You go clockwise, and you stop at the line that connects the 2 points. Please take note. All right, and also recall that what on the cardinal point, each of these segmented, each of these angles, they are what? 90, 90, 90, 90. Here 2 is 90, this also 90, this 90, this 90. All right, so please take note. And in the bearing, we also make use of alternate angles, most cases. All right, alternate angles. Say for example, in this case now, I want to find the bearing of A from B. I already know here to here is 180, so I need this other angle to add up to 180, which will give the bearing. This angle is related to this angle because they are alternates. Please recall that. All right. Also, similar shapes. Right. Students might be required to find areas, volumes of similar shapes. All right. You're asked to find the area of similar shape. You need to know the area factor. You're asked to find the volume of similar shapes. You need to know the area factor. All right, and in most cases you'll be given just linear factor, and you'll be asked to find either area or volume factor. Recall that area factor is what? Area of shape A over area of shape B. All right, depending on the ratio given. All right, area of volume factor is volume of shape A over volume of shape B. Right, then the scale factor is what? the ratio of the corresponding length. So whenever you are given linear scale and you are asked to find area, use this relation, area factor. Let me use AF because of time. AF, area factor, equals what? The scale factor, the square of the scale factor. Alright, and then the volume factor, VF, is the cube of the what? Scale factor. So remember, volume factor is what? It's also a ratio. Volume of the first shape over volume of the second shape. Okay, if you are given the ratio to be 4:5, for example, definitely this will be the smaller shape, this will be the bigger shape. Alright, then the volume factor will be what? Volume of the smaller shape over volume of the bigger shape. Alright, but if you are given scale 5:4, it means this is bigger than this. So it will be volume of the bigger shape, volume of the area shape. Likewise, area factor. Alright, that is that. Next, every other thing is just to solve the resulting equation. Alright, that's that for similar shapes. Now also learners also need to recall the Pythagoras rule. Pythagoras rule is always applied on a right angled triangle. Alright, where you'll be given two sides and you'll be asked to find the third side. If you are dealing with sides, please recall Pythagoras rule for that. Alright, next we have trigonometry. Trigonometry here, we're going to make use of this acronym SOHCAHTOA, right, which gives the trig functions of angles: sine, cosine, and what? Tangent. Still on right angle triangles. Alright, but in this case now, you are given the value of what? One of the angles. Please record this knowledge. Next, angles on lines. Angles on lines, here we discussed the corresponding angles on parallel lines, right? You have two parallel lines like this and a transversal. Here we're going to have alternate angles, corresponding angles, angles on a straight line, supplementary angles. Alright, this angle and this angle, they are corresponding, hence they are equal. Corresponding angles are equal, right? This angle and this angle, they are what? Supplementary. Supplementary angles sum up to 180. You add them up, it will equals 180. Alright, you also have the Z angles. This angle is alternate to this angle. This is the Z, like this. This angle and this angle, they are alternate. Or you say this angle and this angle, they are alternate. Alternate angles, corresponding angles, supplementary angles, they are angles on parallel on lines. Alright, okay, please, you also need to recall this knowledge. Still on angles, also need to recall angles in a triangle. Please, very important. Take note, the sum of angles in a triangle must sum up to what? 180 degrees. We also have another rule on triangles: exterior angle. Whenever you have a triangle this way, for example, this is an exterior angle. Alright, the two angles that are opposite, the two interior angles, that means the two angles inside the triangle that are opposite to this angle are this and this. This other angle is on a straight line, so it's not opposite to it. Alright, so there's a theorem that says that what? Exterior angle of a triangle equals the sum of the two opposite interior angles. Right, we also have this rule on, just in case you are given an angle, maybe you are asked to find x, you are given this angle, and also give this angle, you have to find x. You have to say x equals to what? A plus b. If here is a and here is b, right, you solve the resulting equation. Okay. Next, we have construction. Please, learners should recall how to construct simple shapes like triangles and quadrilaterals. Alright, please, still on angles. Angles in a quadrilateral sum up to what? 360 degrees. Please take note of that. Next and last but not the least, you have polygons. Alright, polygons. Learners must recall some of the basic formulas of polygons. For example, the sum of interior angle of a polygon is what? N minus 2 times 180 degrees, where n denotes the number of what? Sides. Okay. Also, if you are given a regular polygon is a polygon in which all the sides are equal and all the angles are equal. So given a regular polygon, we can also apply this rule that each exterior angle of a regular polygon equals what? 360 over what? N. This relation will help you to find number of sides of a polygon. right? If you know the value of each exterior angle. Also recall that each exterior angle plus each interior, they are supplementary. That's equals to 180 degrees. Given any polygon at all, a triangle is the first polygon we have, right? This is an exterior angle, this is an interior angle. They are on a straight line, so they are supplementary. All right, so you must recall all these formulas. Okay, all right, that is that for geometry. We'll move to the last area, which is what? Statistics. And lastly, statistics. First, learners must know how to read charts and tables. Very important. All right, your knowledge of this will be tested, especially histogram and bar charts. All right, please know how to read charts. All right, and what? Tables. Next, learners must also recall how to compute mean, median, and mode of a data set. All right, take note, the mean of a data is the sum of the data divided by the number of the word data. But if you have a frequency table, the mean will be what? The sum of the fx over what? The sum of f. Take note, right? You know what you mean by frequency table, right? So you apply this formula to obtain the mean. All right, then for median is always the middle number. Okay, you must arrange the data first in order, either ascending or descending, before picking the middle. In the case where you have two numbers in the middle, you find the average of those two numbers. That's the sum of those two numbers divided by 2. Okay, that is that. And for a frequency table also, to get the median, you use what? 1/2 times frequency to get the position of the median. All right, or you say n, which is frequency, total number of data, over 2, it will give you the position of the data of the median, sorry, not the median itself. All right, so when you get the position, you go and trace it on the frequency column to get where the median is. All right, the mode, of course, is the highest occurring number, or on the frequency table, the data with the highest frequency. That is the mode. All right, next we have probability. There's no difference between probability and what? Fraction. They are very, very similar. All right, if you understand fraction, you understand probability. So probability of any event is the number of the events over the total events, or you say sample space. All right, I just hope and believe this will help, especially my students and all JSS3 students all across the nation. Okay, please take note, this is not limited to what we have here. You can still go beyond. Thank you for listening. Please do not forget to subscribe. Just tap on it right now if you have not done so. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye bye.